Welcome to the NAPA Auto Cares Podcast, the official podcast of the NAPA Business Development Group. Here is your host, Adah Grace.
Hello, NAPA Auto Cares. Welcome to NAPA Auto Care Podcast. I have Chad Wilson with me here today. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Well, tell me about what we're going to learn today from headquarters.
Well, today we're going to speak with my business partner, actually, and talk about some of the struggles we're going through and what the BDG is trying to do to help all shops be able to get through these struggles a little easier.
Hello.
Hello, Pete. You're on the podcast.
Hey, man. How's it going?
It's going good.
Good.
So we're gonna just talk about some of the things that, as a shop owner, I explained you're my business partner, and some of the things that we've gone through, some of the things we do a little differently to help with the business, and then some of the things that you and I have talked about that the BDG is trying to do to help improve shops, training and insurance and things of that nature.
Sure. Yeah.
So what are some of the things that come to mind first when you think about struggles in auto care or small shop?
I mean, I'd say one of the bigger struggles in auto care and a smaller shop is staffing. Staffing with experienced techs who know what they're doing, who actually care about what they're doing. So finding those key employees it's a battle. So
yeah, that's a good point. That's something I don't think I've brought up, but I think that part of that is directly reflected in the benefits and how much you're willing to show you appreciate them as well.
Correct. Yeah, you definitely you need to take care of your guys who are taking care of you. If you find a good one, you need practically whatever you can do to hold on to them is what needs to happen. So that's a big factor in having a small business, having a small shop, competing with dealers, and to me, competing with a dealer or any other business, it's pretty simple. Just be honest with the customer and treat them like they're your own. You're not trying to retire on one bill. You make a plan for their car and just guide them the best you can and let them make the decision. Yeah,
I think that's a key factor. Something that you and I both have always kind of said almost as a joke, but we believed in it too, was it doesn't matter what they're driving, that's their car and it's their baby. Exactly. And we want all of the guys in the shop to treat it the same way. You have to respect their property equally. We as a shop are very different. We have a lot of very high-end cars in our shop a lot of times, and you've got to treat that $80,000 70 Corvette just like you're treating the 2015 Hyundai. Like
exactly.
You've got to respect both.
Yep, that's their car, that's their transportation, that's their baby, regardless of what it is to us. That's their second biggest investment is their vehicle.
Yeah, and some people it's their biggest. Right. Not necessarily the smartest investment. But
that's beside the point.
I think we both have had enough experience with people saying they were going to buy a car for an investment. That's a whole nother podcast, but
that could be a whole nother episode.
So do you want to go over some of the things that make us make our lives a little easier that we do that are effective that just about any shop could do if you don't try to concentrate on nickel and diming everything?
So a lot of it comes down to the initial inspection. You're not trying to – you go through the car front to back, and you let the customer know everything that's wrong with it. That's up to them if they want to invest in it, if they want to do anything about it. But it's our our duty to let them know what's going on with it, so they can make the decision if they want to, how much they want to spend on the vehicle. But it gives them a peace of mind knowing everything's been gone through and they're comfortable with where the car's at. You don't need to decide for them how much they want to or are going to spend. You never see that coming. I feel that's a big thing with us. You know, if they'll decide if it's a safety issue or something that needs to be addressed now, and more oftentimes than not, they'll pull the trigger on a lot of things you wouldn't have expected because you're sitting there judging them right out of the gate because of the type of car or whatnot, you know.
Well, and I think a big part of this, to kind of take a different perspective on it, a big part of this is making sure your employee's not worrying about their paycheck, so they aren't trying to oversell things that aren't necessary. And that's one of the things that we do that's a lot different than most shops is our employees aren't affected by what's coming in and out of the door and how much they're pushing to sell. The only thing that they really have any kind of impact on is the quality of work. And as long as the quality of work's there, we're going to generate the work. They're going to get the check. And that also gives us the ability to give them better benefits, more time off, a lot of flexibility with their time and time with their families. And in turn, they don't oversell to customers.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, they don't oversell the customers. They take the time to make sure it's done right the first time. So the customer's happy. Everyone comes back happy. There's just a better quality of work. There's actually care in the work that's being done. They're not stressed about trying to get those hours and trying to just bump out poor quality work. And it all comes full circle because with the better work done, the customer's happy. They're telling everybody else, and you're getting more work because of it. But with that, you know, you take care of the employees, they're going to take care of you. You've got to take care of the guys who are generating the work for you.
What do you think was one of the biggest factors that we implemented to help with employee retention and overall employee happiness?
I think there's a handful of things. Between the salary, which keeps them from having to stress about flat rate work, or just like currently right now, it's a slower time of year. Our guys aren't stressing over that. They can be focused while they're at work. They're not worrying about paying their mortgage, paying for lunch. Having the time off is very important. Making sure there's a very good work-life balance. That is I feel like that's one of the biggest issues with any business. Making sure the guys can still have a life outside of work. It reduces a lot of stress. And again, comes back around to they're just happier at work. Benefits are a huge thing. Time and time again, we have our guys go to the doctor, go to whatever they need to have checked out. They come back, they're thanking us. We're not doing this to be thanked, but for the level of health care we have, one more thing, they're not stressed about how much that doctor is going to cost. They just know they can go in, pay their copay, hit their low deductible, and they're taken care of. Their body parts are taken care of. Everything's in good health, which, again, leads back to them being able to work without any issues.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that all of that impacts the quality of work we produce. And I think that's where a lot of these smaller shops that are scared to take these steps, focusing on the bottom dollar, they're not looking at the benefit and the growth they're going to get from it. Are there things that you can think of right offhand that are things that we should be working on, with the business development group to bring into other shops, or things that you would like to see available to our shop?
So training is going to be one of the bigger things. Getting your lower level techs up to snuff, even keeping your high level techs up to date with current technology. With EV, I mean, it's not that it's coming out; it's been out. Keeping in check with EV, being able to stay ahead of dealers, or at least at the same pace with dealers. Having the guys trained up so you can be a true dealer alternative. That's a big thing. Training's huge.
It is. And also being the dealer alternative, people have to understand that there's a cost that comes with that too. I don't know. I know for some reason I have this number stuck in my head, but I feel like we spend about $1,200 a month on software just to keep up to date.
That's probably right in the wheelhouse.
So that's something that a lot of these smaller shops, that if we can get that together and make that more attainable, instead of partnering up with some of the more ridiculous things that they have in the past.
Yep.
We don't need fishing trips on Lake Lanier. Let's concentrate on inventory and technology.
And then you can buy your own fishing trip.
That's right.
Also, I feel like there should be something to help educate the smaller shops. I get it. It's scary. We've been there. Pulling the trigger on spending more on a guy, spending more on healthcare, spending more, investing in all these items. Initially, as a business owner, you think that's just a big number. You're like, that's just a bunch of outgoing money. But to be able to quantify the return on investment in that, I feel like will make business owners more at ease spending the money, and that just helps them grow their business, helps them obtain better employees, and overall just help the industry. So.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Peter. Well, I appreciate you taking the time with us. We're going to let you get off of here and get back to doing whatever it is you're doing. And we're going to go and try to figure out what's next.
All right, sounds good.
Man. I'll talk to you later.
Appreciate it.
See you.
Okay, well, if you have any questions, contact napabdg@gmail.com if you have any questions. And that's it, folks. Come back next week for another episode. Thank you.